wanted to get this in, talking about the ancient, free, and accepted Mason. Well, I was watching this short um, bio sort of thing, VAD TV, VAD. Yeah, I think it's VAD TV. He interviews a lot of different people at times, and on this particular occasion, he was interviewing John Sally, former NBA um, basketball star player, and he was talking in regards to the Freemason. So I'm going to hop into that conversation piece. It was very interesting, some things he said. But before I do that, I just want to send everybody a big shout out. And as we approach the holidays, I just want everybody to be safe. Definitely want to keep each of you in prayer. Definitely want to do that, you know. And I want to wish jurisdiction well. So much is happening around us all the time. People are dying left and right. I just want us to be well. I want you to be well. I want you to be able to talk about issues and situations that's going to help you get over that hump. Everybody need an ear, someone they can talk to. Trust me, we all do. So, greetings everybody who's coming on. I hope you enjoyed the live the other day with Brother Calvin in regards to the Supreme Council of Mexico. I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to come back with a part 2 and some other things that are on our list to do. But definitely hope you enjoyed the last podcast that we did on the YT. So, look, but today's conversation is going to be about the ancient, free, and accepted Masons. And we're going to talk about John Sally, you know, the former NBA basketball star. He was on VAD. Did I say that? VAD TV? I think I said that right. Well, anyway, with that being said, greetings, Imhotep. All right, most honorable. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Brother Wilson. What's going on with you, bro? Man, I better get into this conversation piece real quick before my time go. But look, check it out. So they was talking about the Boule, and they was talking about Freemasonry. They were talking about all of that. So on this particular program with VAD TV, John Sally was talking about himself being a Freemason, being a member of Omega Psi Phi Incorporated. And he was saying that he had talked to Shaq, who's a member of Prince Hall Freemasonry. And he was talking in regards to Shaq being a member of Omega Psi Phi. So in this particular topic, John Sally said this, and you can go back and watch. He said, look, I am a Scottish Rite Mason. Okay? He said after that, Shaq is... Now, those are coded words. Let me tell you why they're coded. In the African American diaspora in the community of Freemasonry, most ancient free and accepted Masons who are not really well versed in Freemasonry, if they are ancient free and accepted, they're going to say that they're Scottish Rite Mason. It's just what it is, and I'm okay with it. I understand. Most brothers who are Prince Hall Mason, they're going to straight tell you, I'm Prince Hall Mason. Okay? So on this particular show, John Sally said, Shaq, he became a member of Prince Hall Freemasonry. I became a member of Scottish Rite. I was like, wow, okay. So apparently, he's a member of a Grand Lodge here in California that is ancient, free, and accepted Masons. Yeah, it's true. John Sally is a member of a Grand Lodge here in California that is ancient, free, and accepted Masons. Now, I do know of most Grand Lodges here in California that are ancient, free, and accepted. Greetings. What's going on, Brother Williams? What's happening with you? Fraternal biddings to everyone. And I found that to be very interesting. In looking into what we call the Boule, That's been my hot topic here recently. I've learned some things, and the perspective is that it is those individuals of the elite African Americans who have that money, that moolah, who's in the positioning or the position to open doors to allow you to come in and be at the table or to be in the room. It is those individuals who are considered to be the boule. Uh, and what I've learned also watching this particular Vlad conversation is that there is some there who don't want you to know that they are, and there are some who really don't care. But it's sad to say that within the African American diaspora here in America, that you have a group of elitists. Well, no, I may have to backtrack that. That you have, call them back. That you have elitists who have who's in a position to open doors for you, but yet refuse to. That's a sad thing. But I would imagine that this is that this is in most groups of people. It's just not in the African American family. It's in a group of most. I may have to cut this short. I see the guy cutting up some yard here, getting ready to do a little mowing here. So I may have to cut it short. I'm quite sure you can hear that lawnmower. But, that's a sad thing. But what I'm finding is the more I travel, the more I meet a lot of various brothers from different places, man, you find out a lot. You find out so much. And to know the variation of Freemasonry and how it changes depends on where you're at. I would even say this here. Within the Prince Hall Marquis body, there is an elitist group of Prince Hall Masons. I'll say that. Hear me clearly. I said, and I say it again, within the Marquis of the Prince Hall family, there is an elitist group of Prince Hall Masons. Let me tell you why I say that. As a member, and I've gone to several different Supreme Council settings, from my understanding, and for those of you who may be part of a particular Prince Hall jurisdiction, correct me if I'm wrong. If you are a member of a particular mainstream jurisdiction, correct me if I'm wrong. If you are a member of the Knights of Templars, and just an average member, you don't hold a position, but you're an average person. And let's just say you're holding your Supreme Council setting. Can you go? If you're just an ordinary Joe who's a member of the Supreme Council of Prince Hall, you don't hold a member, you're not an elected officer, you just want to go to the Supreme Session setting and be in the meetings as far as the Knights Templars, the Royal Arch, the LOP, those type of meetings, and you don't have an elected position. But hey, your chapter is there, okay? Your commandery is there. Your lodge of affection is there. Can you go? Yes, you can go. That's all I need to know. Thank you. Let me tell you why I asked that question. It's because it was said that you couldn't go. Now, I don't know. I'm only asking. I'm not a member, so you have to ask some things. Don't just take everything for face value, but you have to ask. So, all right, I appreciate that. You can go. Okay, good, great. Man, I do not want to say something and not really know. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But back to the topic with John Sally, ancient free and accepted Masons. I thought that was just pretty interesting. and his conversation with Shaq in regards to that, being a Mason and being a member of Omega, and talking about the Boule. I found that whole conversation to be like a wild moment because there's very few African American, especially those who are of statue, who is willing to actually talk about it and have that conversation. So greetings to everybody who's coming on. So today our topic is Ancient Free and Accepting Masons, dealing with John Sally and his admission to being a part of the Freemason. And I say this often, and someone can hit me back in the chat. I personally do not believe in a Mason using their Grand Lodge to identify who they are. I don't. I disagree with that. I disagree with it because, as I've said before, your Grand Lodge is where you was made a Mason. It is not who you are. You know, and I think a lot of times, a lot of us get indoctrinated into Freemasonry if it is some type of game set mentality. You know, and I think when we do that, we lose the respect of what Masonry is really all about. When you come in and you say, oh, I'm a John G. Jones Mason, what the hell is a John G. Jones Mason? Oh, and that's the Grand Lodge I'm a part of. But that's all it is. But you're a Mason. So when you have arrived to a certain point in your life, you remove that out the way. You're no longer a John G. Jones Mason. You're a Mason. You're no longer an international Mason. You are a Mason. According to who? According to the jurisdiction for which you receive your degree work from. Everything else is suspect. Everything outside of where you got your grant, where you got your membership from is suspect. Period. That's the truth. I mean, many of us get all bent out of shape because we would say, nah, that brother's this, or that brother's that, or that sister's this, or that sister's that. And you're missing the essence of what it is to actually be a Mason. And this is what's so unique about, I would say, John Sally's position as far as being in the spotlight, being a national speaker, traveling the world. I would say his experience in Freemasonry has probably a lot different. There you go. Thank you, Brother Williams. I appreciate that. Thank you. Vlad, yeah, Vlad, VLAD TV, yeah. You know, his experience is a lot different than most. See, you're probably saying, John Sally, he's a clandestine Mason, he can't visit. Look, his status alone opens the door for him to visit lodges that you probably thought he couldn't get in. That's a fact. That's the truth. It does. Because what I've learned is that although you may consider we don't have a Supreme Council in the same way AF and AM do. All right, well, you can explain that if you don't have a Supreme Council in the same way AF and AM does, how is it? I know you got two Supreme Council, was actually more than two, but a Supreme Council in general, I don't mind learning and asking, well, how is it? You know, when you say you don't have one like AF and AM. Our Supreme Session, rather. Oh, well, yeah, I understood that. Well, how is your session? You know, because I don't want misinformation. I don't want to say something and then I'm totally like way out of bounds. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to give someone information that is truthful. That's it. What's going on, King David, Grand Lodge out of Detroit? Greetings to you. So as we look at this thing, as we begin our journey into Freemasonry, I want you brothers to look at Freemasonry in its totality of what it is, not your jurisdiction, not the mere fact that I'm ancient international. The mere fact of looking at Masonry is the mere fact that you are a Mason, based upon the initiation and rites, based upon the mere fact that your Grand Lodge or your lodge for which you are a part of, the obligation that you take within that jurisdiction makes you a Mason, whether I like it or dislike it. It has nothing, it is not personal, it's not anything. It makes you a Mason. Now, you don't have to like the fact that I chose a particular jurisdiction, but that's neither here nor there, because when you travel outside of your borders, get out of this United States of America, and begin to journey into Freemasonry, you'll see it differently. You'll see it differently. Your eyes will be open. Oh, that's just the fact of the matter now, and that's what I like. You know, I was talking to a brother the other day, and we was discussing Freemasonry, and I clearly said that when individuals begin to really appreciate Masonry, they will begin to see it from a whole nother perspective. Hear me clearly, when individuals start to appreciate Masonry, they will see it from a different perspective, that of a small-minded person versus one who's well-traveled. That's what I mean, a well-traveled Mason. One who doesn't get bogged down or get caught up in small issues, small conversations. I'm talking about a Mason who's so well-traveled till wherever he goes, he's accepted. That's a well-traveled Mason. And there are a lot of well-traveled Masons out there. Trust me. There are a lot of well-traveled Masons out there. I mean, where they have actually, let me tell you, where they have actually sit in PHA lodges, and they have sit in AF and AM, Modern Free, and International. Yeah, I said that. I said there are Masons who have actually done all of those. I'm not talking about, oh, well, I got initiated in Modern Free, and then I left and I went to AF and AM, and I left and I went to Prince Hall or PH. No, I'm talking about an individual who, thank you, I appreciate that, hit that like button, thank you very much, I appreciate that. I'm talking about an individual who's actually been there and done that, a well-traveled Mason. And there are quite a few well-traveled Masons out here, but they ain't gonna tell you that. They're not going to tell you that, you know. I was talking with another friend of mine in regards to Freemasonry, and I have pictures, and they know I have pictures, and I can't show the pictures because of what would happen if I did. I've learned that lesson. You can't always share pictures. You can't always do that. But in like manner, I wanted to share the picture, you know, and I was told don't. You don't do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to prove nothing to nobody. So don't do it. But as we who are Masons, we got to come out of man, we got to open our minds. Nah, we check dues cards. If you're not an M&T, you are not getting in. I tell you what, I'm gonna share this with you. My past Grand Master, his name was Michael P. McCullough. He passed away a few years ago. He was initiated, passed, and raised in a Prince Hall Grand Lodge. Bahrain. That's where he was initiated, passed at in Bahrain. And when he came back to the States, he joined my jurisdiction. Although there was two Prince Hall lodges in the same area as my lodge. And he went back to Detroit. This is a true story, I don't have to lie. He went back to Detroit because his nephew was being initiated into the Prince Hall Lodge in Detroit. He got there, he knocked on the door, and they asked him, you know, who was he? He told them. They asked him what was he doing? He told them. They Q&A'd him. They did. I mean, they asked him, and they let him in. Oh yeah, they let him in. You probably, boy, you full of bullshit. They'd never do that. I'm telling you what I know, and I don't have to lie on a dead man. I don't have to do that. But they let him in. The only thing that he said that was disappointing, he said, I was initiated, pastored, and raised there. He said the only thing that was disappointing to me is that the brothers themselves don't respect Freemasonry. I left it at that. And this is what we have to do, as an organization. We have to teach Freemasonry to those who are coming into the craft to respect the craft. I don't think we get that now. Greetings, most wishful King William Grand Lodge, state of New Jersey. What's going on? We don't get that the way we used to get it. We don't. It used to be something to be a Mason. It's still something, but man, the Masons today, I would say it's still that way today a little bit, but not like it once was, to where if people knew you was a Mason, there was some respect about it. There was some respect about it. Today, do you still feel that's the same way? Do you still feel that there's some respect about about Masonry when someone finds out you're a Mason? Because I don't see that popping off a lot. Now, you get those who are movie stars and athletes, when they say they're a Mason, it's like, wow. First thing people say, conspiracy, boule, they throw it all up in there together. Ah, yeah, he a Mason, But the respect that Masons or Masonry once had is somewhat drizzling away, dropping away, falling off the map some type of way. The ideal is, are we doing a good enough job to bring real individuals who are good men into the organization? I ain't talking about your friend, the one that sells on the corner. I ain't talking about him. I'm not talking about your friend who don't have a job and can't pay his dues. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about some real gents. Some real gents. And then once you get them in, are you teaching them Freemasonry, or are you just taking their money and blowing smoke up their a-hole? Are you doing that? I mean, in my goal, my own personal goal, is to do exactly that, is to bring individuals into the jurisdiction, to teach them Freemasonry, and to teach them to respect the craft. Doesn't matter about brothers you come across in various jurisdictions. Teach the craft. I hope Professor James Small come back on. Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, I have talked with Professor James Smalls. He's preparing now to go to Africa in January. Once he gets back, then he'll come on. I got another special guest that's gonna be popping on next year also, if God's will, and I'm healthy and everything. It's gonna be an exciting year. It's going. Look, 2023, I just got off my subject though, but 2023 is going to be an exciting year. I'm here to say that. I'm here to say that. And for those brothers of the craft and sisters of the order, you should make it an exciting year for your jurisdiction, for Masonry as a whole. You should make it. You should do something special regarding your jurisdiction. Fraternal greetings. What's going on, Holloway? Hope everything is well with you. The left-hand perspective. I likes that. Hit that like button for me, please. I appreciate it. This is what you should do. As we progress in Freemasonry, I believe that individuals in their jurisdiction should do something to promote Masonry. Period. Promote it. Is Mason equal my soul as in sound of God? Yes. There's so much wrapped into Mason. I've learned so much in regards to the word itself, the carpentry or the carpenter himself. It's a lot happening with that particular word. But yes, that is just one aspect of it. Absolutely, it is. Absolutely. And sure I say his name right. Not James Smalls, not Professor James Small, but Professor Kaba is coming back on also. He's already scheduled to be back on also. Mother and son, you know. Um, yeah, that whole that right, that's a whole nother conversation right there. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, so you know what? We gonna get down with the get down. A brother told me this, and I'm gonna share it with you. He said, I want to make sure I say this right, and if I mess it up, he'll let me know. Think as it should be. Think as it should be. I was like, okay, think as it should be. I'm gonna have to put that into some perspective. What's going on, Brother Teller? Oh, is that it? Yeah, what's going on? How you doing there? It's gonna flip up right here. Good morning. Yes. Wait until brother meet Professor. Yeah. He said he was coming on too. Yeah. He's coming on. Absolutely. He's scheduled. I want to say for the earlier part of February, and then Professor Kaba is like in March, and then Professor James is like in April. But look, I'm gonna send in a personal invite right now. April the 28th. 8th, 9th. April the 29th. This is a personal invite. If somebody asks you where you get the invite from, you tell them I gave it to you. We're doing a raising in the desert of Las Vegas, April the 29th. In Vegas, we're doing a raising in the desert. So if you want to experience something, if you want to see some if you want to see some, we're doing a raising in the desert, April the 29th, 2023. So if you are a Mason of any jurisdiction and you want to come and fellowship and see that outdoors in the wee morning hours in the desert of Las Vegas, April the 29th, you're certainly welcome to come out and see this raising in the desert. It is going to be off the chain. I'm just telling you, there's nothing like having an initiation, a passing, or raising outdoors. Nothing like it. Guarantee you that. Greetings, everybody. To all ebony Masons and brothers, you are a true pure Mason. Only you can be true pure Masons. Oh, that's cool. I do agree we all need to step our game up and spread the gospel, this beautiful thing of ours. Be the change you want to see. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's getting it in right there. That is getting it in right there. So look, I don't have nothing else to add, but yeah, the topic of the day was John Sally. That was getting in. John Sally. I'm ancient. I'm Scottish Rite Mason. I was like, whoa. But yeah, he one of the Grand Lodges here in California that is ancient, free, and accepting Mason. So look, I want everybody to take care of themselves. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate each of you. If you have something that you want to discuss, please let me know. Correction since '96. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, let's see what you got up here. Raised since '96, let's chop it up square. Look, if you want to chop it up, as soon as I log off, you can hit me up at 858-707-5582. That's the number. You can hit me up after we log off. I got a few more minutes before I head back in, and you want to chop it up, hit me up at 858-707-5582. Hit me up. I'm out. Peace and be well, and be the change you want to see. I'm out. Peace.